Shall we start?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, good morning. Welcome, learners, to this session. Today, we are talking about human resource development. This is the part of the course MST 011, that is Sustainability Science, Block 1. You must have heard about in our previous sessions, we have been talking about sustainability and the importance of sustainability. And for the overall development of a person, we need to have a sustainable approach, because if we want to achieve a kind of a sustainable society wherein we are able to see that all the sections of the people are benefited by our development pathways, by the efforts which we are making, it is important that we put all this under the heading of human resource development. Actually, what we want is the development of person as an individual from all spheres. Now, there are several things, several terms, several misconceptions associated with the term human development, human resource development. So, let us see what is this. Let me clarify you the difference between human development and human resource development. The term resource is something which distinguishes between human development and human resource development. And as we talk resource, you very well know that resource is which has some benefit in the terms of economy, which is useful, which will give you some end product, which has an output. When I say human development, it means the development of a person as a whole, not only in terms of economy, because few years back it was believed that economy will take care of the development of the person. Economic growth means that we are able to see that with the rise in the economy, with the rise in the standard of living of the people, with the improvement in all the facilities, the human beings have developed. But altogether, it is not so. When we say human development, it encompasses the freedom of the people, the choices that we are giving to the people, and also it is about improving the well-being of the people in the long run. So sustainability endeavors towards improving the development of an individual. For example, I give you a very small example which you will be able to relate among yourself. We see that in the same socio-economic conditions also, if there are two children who are gifted with the same economic background, who are of the same age, but then also we find that they develop or they evolve as different individuals. What distinguishes between these two? It is the opportunities that we are giving. It is the choices which we are giving to both the individuals. And this is very common to see outside. That is why we say that for the overall development of the person, people centric development should be there, where we are able to provide them with all the facilities, all that which is necessary for improving the condition in the society. Then comes the role of the institutions. Then comes the role of the governance, where we say that human resource development is something by which a kind of an environment is created so that the people are able to develop their full potential, so that they are able to make use of the skills which they are having, so that they are able to progress in whatever field they are working. And this is according to their interest, this is according to their aptitude, this is according to the resources which they are having. So human development is not possible without having support from all the stakeholders in the society. We need to have an effective political system. We need to have a social organization set up. There is an importance of the governance, the role of institutions, the government bodies, the policies of the government. They all play a very important role towards the development of an individual so that it is able to contribute positively to the society. So, learners, I think these two terms are clear to you, because in the coming slides, we will be talking more about the development of human beings as an individuals, and what is the importance of human resource development, and how do we measure that development. What is the yardstick by which we can say that the development has occurred or it has not occurred? Now, let me, okay. So what is the main idea behind human resource and human resource development? I must tell you that it was the Pakistani economist who gave the concept of human development for the first time, and that was Mehboob Haq. The credit of the term human development goes to him because he believed and he explained that people are the real wealth of any country. Because before that, still we believe that the type of resources a country has, the type of amenities a country has, the state of the development, whether it is underdeveloped or developed or developing, that defines the state of the condition of the people. But however, it is no denying today that we all agree that people are the real wealth of any country. The other resources, that is, and today if we talk in the context of India also, where we have lot of youth population, a section of the population of our country is youth, and we agree to this point that we are in the verge, we are having a window of opportunity where we are able, where we can and we should use this demography as a resource, and we should make use of this young population by providing them with good education, good skills, better nutrition, and so on. So the base of the human development and human resource development concept is on the fact that people are the real wealth of a country. Now, please pay attention here. When I say people, I include the marginalized also, I include the disadvantaged also, without any region bias, without any gender bias. I'm talking about the all sections of the people who are residing in a country. They are the wealth of a country if made into proper use. They may turn into the curse if they are not being properly, you can say, looked after, if they are not given opportunities. Therefore comes the role of human resource development, because human resource development is not just the rise and fall of national incomes. It doesn't only mean that the income levels will define more human resource development, and the lack of income will say that the human resource has not been developed optimally in a country. So human resource development is about the quality of life of the people, how happy they are, how satisfied they are, what kind of life do they live, what kind of choices do they have, are they free to express their opinions, so are they culturally rich. All these terms are very important when it comes to human resource. Therefore, it is a part, the income, because therefore no, now we are not using, because there are not have been index which have come, the human development index, happiness index, gender index, all these indexes are in use nowadays, because now we are not just using the gross national income as an indication of the development of an country, because that only indicates the economic well-being. But as a student of sustainability sciences, you must realize the importance of the social well-being also, along with the economic well-being, for the state of condition of the people in any country. And one must not also forget that when we say sustainable development, it also means that we are able to create a system where we have the assets in such a place that these assets enhance the opportunities. The whole system works so as to improve the condition of the people in any region. And sustainable development has the definition itself says, and it stresses upon the point that the future generations. That is the whole idea of sustainability and sustainable development revolves around the people. It is a people-centric approach, because they are the main force. You can say all our efforts, all our actions are diverted towards making the lives of the people better. And when we say, because in our previous class we studied about the needs and wants, so that also, it's need is, of course, we discuss so many types of needs, so that is in line with the human development, because satisfaction of the needs also paves the way for the development of the human resource in a country. So we need to have good policies, we need to have good governance, we need to have regulations in place, we need to provide good education to the people, we also need to take care of the health of the people. Uh, Likewise, we are also bound to provide them all the necessities which the people require. Now, so there are three main things you must focus when you discuss about human development. It stresses upon mainly 3 points. Number one, people are important. Okay, not the economy, not the infrastructures that you are creating, not the technology, but the most important aspect of human resource development is people. And again, I stress here the point that the people includes the all sections of the people, without any region bias, without any gender bias, without any other bias. It includes providing equal opportunities to all the sections of the society. Then comes opportunities. We lay so much emphasis on educating the girl child. Okay. But if you are not able to give them opportunities to work, that is not going to serve the purpose. So, a country should have its policies in such a way that we are able to provide opportunities to our people. Because when we focus on people, we tend to give them good education, we provide them, our young children, with good food, we give them good conditions for learning and all. But this all is useless, if you're not able to convert them into the opportunities. So, job opportunities are one thing, study opportunities are required, working opportunities must be given. So, there are unlimited opportunities which exist, and we have to explore these opportunities. So, all our investments that we are making for development of the human beings as an individual in the course of human development will not be fruitful unless and until proper opportunities are created in every sphere. Opportunity to participate, opportunities in decision making, opportunities to express their views, opportunity to have freedom on all sorts. That is very important. And another important thing is choices. What choices the people make with regards to not only their work but in every other aspect. We see that the choices are very important, whether it comes to, for example, um, uh, whether there is a choice to work as an entrepreneur, whether there is a choice to choose whatever field of study, whether there is a choice to live wherever in the country. So these are the choices, and how we are able to provide the choices, that depends upon our whole setup towards sustainability. Because if the choices are limited, if the resources are limited, if we have not explored fully the whole market, if we have not explored all the possible places of work, you can say, then the opportunities also will not be able to be fruitful in the long run. So there should be an opportunity given to the students, given to the working class, given to the young professionals, given to the population of our country, so that they are able to make good choices, so that they are able to make informed choices, so that they can make their own decisions. And when all these stages come, then only we can say that the human development has taken place and the country is in the path of human resource development, because then the people have all the kind of, apart from the economic necessities, they also have all this, and this is given by the society. The society permits girls to move out, to do whatever jobs they can do. Then these choices, if we are giving to our females in the society, then we can say that we are translated into a developed country. So, what is actually the cornerstone? It is believed that yes, choices we are giving and we are giving them ample opportunities, but there are certain issues which are central to human resource development. And here on the picture, you can see the seven issues which have been mentioned over here. Let us take them one by one. Social progress is an aspect of human resource development. Now, just look into in this way that societal progress and social progress means that um, educational institutes are there, hospitals are there, recreation centers are there. Society as a whole has a kind of a support system to all the sections of the people. Then, without the social progress, the human resource cannot stand straight. The whole mechanism of the society. That is one of the important aspect of human resource development. So a society which doesn't have an old age homes, for example, we cannot say that it is in a proper frame. So, looking into the needs of all the groups of the population, not only the educational needs but also the other needs, not only the occupational needs but also the social needs of the people, which we have already discussed. So social progress is very important. Sustainability of the endeavors, sustainability of all the efforts which are being made today, are they sustainable in the long run? That needs to be checked. Efficiency in terms of the output which we are getting because of the inputs which we are giving in terms of resource extraction, in terms of industrialization, in terms of the various work which is being done in the society at present. So it should be efficient, it should be able to provide good returns. Then we can say that the society is efficient and the economy is efficient. Economics, because without economics, as we have always believed in this fact, that sustainable development does not ignore the economy. So providing the fruits of development and equally distributing them amongst all the stakeholders, equally among the different sections of the society, takes care of the economics. That is, all our efforts must not go in vain, and if we are not able to improve our country economically. That is also very important, because the solutions to most of the problems can come only if we are economy at a better position. So economics is very important, improving the standard of living of the people, providing them with good housing facilities, providing them with good food so that they have a better paying capacity, their purchasing power is increased. So that is all possible when we take care of the economic aspect of the human resource development. Equity, as I said, means having the fruits of development equally distributed among different sections of the society, so that the wealth creation is not only few hands, so that the divide between the rich and the poor must not be so much, that which is uh, uh, evident in the present times. Because of unsustainable development, we see that the rich are getting richer and poor are getting poorer, because of the forces of so many factors, including the climate change and other phenomena. So equity is very important, so that we can see that everybody has got an equal resources. Participation in not only playing important role towards their own work, but also with regards to the national policies, with regards to the functioning of the state. They should be given freedom, they should be able to given choices, they should be informed about what all is happening. Full freedom is very essential, so that they are able to make decisions on their own. And security, in terms of job security, in terms of social security, in terms of emotional security, that is very important. So when you look at all these all these seven elements, when we look into these issues, we find that always we try to meet all this, the development is most often perceived to be thinking and taking care of only about the economic aspect. That has always been the case. But when you look into the elements which have been stated over here, it becomes clear, and it also goes in line with the development of with the definition of the human development which we have studied, that it is about utilizing the full potential with the help of the different elements which we have discussed. Very interesting. Now let us talk about, because human development index, it is UN from 1990 onwards, it is presenting this report every year, human development index. We will be discussing about it, and it categorizes the countries of the world on the basis of this index, and it says that which countries are developed according to the human development index, which countries are or having a higher rank, which countries are having a lower rank. So this is the human development report, which is the recent one, 2020. It is, every year when this development report comes, it presents um, the state of the conditions which are existing today. So it is expected that human development report 2021 will be out by mid 2022. So this is the recent work, and it has a full focus on Anthropocene era. The title of this report is The Next Frontier, Human Development and the Anthropocene. Learners, I must clarify you here, what is the meaning of Anthropocene. Anthropocene means man induced changes which have occurred in the environment, which you are and you must be very well aware of. In this report, it has been, because it was prepared at the time of pandemics. We have seen the importance of maintaining the state of balance in the environment, because it is clear by the viruses which are originating in the wild and entering into our systems. So it states that it has three parts actually. So the report, first part of the report is renewing human development for Anthropocene. We know what is human development, but in today's era, where human beings have taken charge of the nature, of the environment, we have modified all the nature settings. In that context, it is very important to renew the human development. We have to think again that what is the development which we are heading for. Now, in this part, there are several chapters. First of all, it explains that what is the meaning of renewing human development. We need to look back, we have to see again, because since times we have been talking about human development in terms of getting most of the material assets that signifies the development, but now again we have to look back to the nature. This part also explains about the evidences that Anthropocene is taking a toll on human lives. The development which has been going on at present is unsustainable in the long run, that may pose problems to our health, as it has been seen during the last 2 years, what we are witnessing, that viruses originating in the wild and entering into our ecosystems, and also causing modification in our ecosystems, and also causing harm to us in the form of various diseases. So it explains all that which is important for us to know with regards to Anthropocene, what is Anthropocene, and how we can renew the human development. How, with the help of, it gives us that it is only possible when different actions come into the play. It also explains that we live in an interconnected and interrelated world, so nothing is in isolation. Part 2 of the report explains about the mechanisms of change. What needs to be changed, that if you want to renew human development, what has to be changed? So we need to look back at the nature-based solutions. We have to look at the social norms, because at present the social mobility is down. Socially, there has been a lot of turmoils. Innovations need to be in place. Social norms have to change, because the type of social behavior we need today in terms of our buying, in terms of our living, in terms of our meeting our needs. All this is explained in the part 2, which gives us a, you can say, a roadmap that how we can move sustainability and how we can ensure human development in the era of anthropocene. Because it is believed that we are heading towards the sixth mass extinction, and which will be caused by humans, as it is believed, as it has been given by the researchers and the scientists. So what needs to be changed? So looking back with the nature for the solutions and adopting eco-friendly lifestyles, that is mentioned here. And part 3 is measuring human development anthropocene. How do we measure? Because till now we were talking about the gross national income. We had all our indexes of development um, being focused on the economy of the countries. Therefore, we talked about per capita income and this and that, which gave us an elaborate account of the meaning of development. But now we need to look back at some other indexes, that how we can measure human development, how we can say whether the development has occurred or not. Again, I would like to tell you about the few lines which have been written in this report, because it explains the whole state of the human development across the world. So the report states that broken societies put people and planet on collision course. Broken societies means at the time of pandemic we have seen that how our health infrastructure collapsed. Whether it is the climate change, whether it is the pandemics which have occurred, you must agree to one point, that even though everybody is affected, everybody is not affected on the same scale. That is very important point for you to understand at this junction. Because uh, there is always belief that nobody in the world is immune. That is true. Everybody has a plague inside. That was written by Adam Smith's very important quote, that everyone has in it the plague, because no one in the world is immune. So had this been written in the times of COVID or climate change, it is very true. We all are affected, we all got infected, but not at the same scale. So COVID-19 pandemic is the latest crisis which is facing the world, but unless humans release their grip on nature, it won't be the last. It stresses again the importance of the environmental quality, the environmental state of the conditions, and very beautifully, if you get a chance to read this report, you must read it, because every point has been related to the human development concern. It is not about environmental protection per se, not only highlighting the importance of environment and environmental conservation efforts, but in every state, in every chapter, in every example, you will find that it is related to the human development which we are talking, which we are having striving to achieve. And warning lights for our societies and the planets are flashing red. So planet is in peril, the rivers are in peril, the mountains are in peril, but so as the society. Uh, so now the time has come where the human development and environment development, conservation will go hand in hand. Because up till now we have mostly uh, believed that the nature will take care of itself, but the new normal which is before has also uh, makes us think about the importance of the environment conservation, along with making efforts for our own development as a human resource. So we were talking about human development index. This is HDI. You must have heard about it. So since 1990, it is published annually, because when you look at this index, and when you look at the scores of this index, you can say whether you have developed or not. With every passing year, you can say whether you are moving, your country is moving up or down. So it measures the human well-being. And there are three criteria. One is the your education, means the literacy level in the country, the number of years of schooling which are there, then also the economy also, which is very important, and also the long and healthy life, which is evident by the life expectancy of the people in the country. So you know uh, on the basis of these three, it is calculated uh, uh, a kind of data is collected with regards to the average life expectancy of the people in a country. Then the literacy rate, number of years of schooling, gross enrollment ratio, and decent standard of living, which is being given by the per capita income of the people. On the basis of these three dimensions, HDI is calculated. The critics of the HDI say that it doesn't reflect and it doesn't take into account many things which are crucial, because now we know what is development and what is the importance of human development. It doesn't talk about the inequalities. When it says that the literacy rate is low, it doesn't explain that which sections of the people are not able to utilize or not able to go to school. When we say decent standard of living, so what all the resources people are devoid of, whether human security is there or not, whether people have gender equality existing in the society, participation, decision making, empowerment, all these factors were not given importance here. So this is how I explain this context. See, this is a long and healthy life, and which is indicated by life expectancy at birth, which is the data which can be easily known by the NFHS data. If we talk about India, then life expectancy index, education index, and GNI index, that is the gross national income. So when you compare, when you have the data regarding all this, you can know about the HDI. On the basis of HDI, always we have seen that how countries are ranked, which countries are above us, which countries are lower to us, and we strive to make our position better. But in 2020, as I was talking about that, how to measure, at that time, the part three of the document of the report, talks about that how to measure the index for human development and anthropocene. So in 2020, UNDP, the United Nations Development Program, has released, and it talks about a new index in which is planetary pressures adjusted human development index. So, there are planetary pressures, there are social pressures. Okay. Social pressures are indicated by the inequities in the society, by the crime in the society, by the gender distinctions in the society, by joblessness in the society. These are the societal pressures. Planetary pressures, as you know, the climate change, pollution, global warming, and this and that. So, UNDP in 2020, it has proposed that um, when you measure HDI, there should also be an index about the planetary pressures adjusted human development index. And you understand in this way, when the uh, planetary pressure adjusted human index is equal to HDI, then there is no pressure. When there is no pressure on the environment, when there is no pollution, when there is an ideal state of the affairs in a country, then HDI is equal to planetary pressures adjusted human development. When the planetary pressures increase, naturally this index will go down. So it is measured by several calculations. We need to look into it very carefully. So it is, how do we know planetary pressures? It is by the knowing about the carbon dioxide emissions and the ecological footprints we must be knowing. So according to this 2020 report for HDA, we are at 131 rank out of 189 countries. So 189 countries have participated. They are included in this human HDI index, and we are at 131 rank. Last year we were at 139, then we are at 131. So this, and if you see to it, planetary pressures development index, the whole the ranking of the nations get changed. Another important index, which are the recent ones, which is very essential for us to know, because we are knowing about the human development, is global multidimensional poverty index. What is multidimensional poverty? You must know that multidimensional means poverty is not only not having food to eat, but it has a multi-dimensional aspect, because if you do not have nutritious food, if you do not have the chance to go to school, if you do not have a house to live in, then there are several aspects of poverty. So, according to this, we are at 66th rank out of 109 countries. So, here also we are not that good. Now, let's just look at this. I just wanted you to know about the dimensions of the poverty. So, there are health dimensions when nutrition uh, is not available, child mortality rate is very high, and also, it also measures about the incidence of poverty and intensity of poverty. There are two terms. Incidence of poverty means how many out of the population, how many, what percentage of the population are poor. So that is incidence. And intensity, how poor are they. So there may be intensity of the poverty obviously varies between the developed and the developing countries. For it may, for a poor country, even not getting a food may be coming under the poverty, but for a better well-off country, maybe not having a car is a sign of poverty. So these are the three dimensions of poverty according to multidimensional poverty index, which is also it's an index to tell about the poverty existing between different countries. So, health, education, and living standards. So, health is indicated by the child mortality, nutrition. Education is years of schooling and school attendance, and living standards. What kind of fuel are they using? Sanitation, whether opportunities are there or not. Drinking water is available or not. Electricity, housing, and assets. Assets means if you don't have a TV, if you don't have a radio, if you don't have a phone, if you don't have a for example, any kind of fridge you don't have, TV you don't have, so the car you don't have. So that are the assets, which are explained by. So this is a multi-dimensional poverty, which not only says that if you are poor if you do not have a food to eat, but you are also poor if you do not have electricity at your house. If you do not have house to live in, then also you are poor. So, according to this report 2021, it states that worldwide, across it surveyed around 5.9 billion people across 109 countries. 1.3 billion poor people are multidimensionally poor because they had neither of these things. Out of this, half are children under the age of 18 years, and out of this, 85% live in the sub-Saharan Africa, South Asia, and more than 67% of it live in the middle income countries. So these are some of the findings of this report. Now I'll talk to you about the happiness index, because well-being, development, human development, all this is incomplete because ultimately we want happiness. So happiness is a function of non-material factors. This has been understood. This we know now, that having possessions, having materialistic things with us does not signify that we are happy. So we need what? We need to be psychologically well-being. We need to be in a good emotional state of mind. We should be content. We should be happy. We are happy if we are psychologically happy. If our health is good, mental, physical, emotional health is perfect, then we are happy. If we are able to devote time for our leisure activities, if we are able to devote time for resting, if we are able to devote time for our recreation, for our hobbies, then we are happy. Community, if you are able to participate in the community activities, if you are part of the social group, if you are able to mingle, if you are able to go, if we are going, then we are happy. If we have a social support in the form of family, friends, society, we are happy. If we have opportunity for education, if we are educated, then we are happy. If the environment is serene, we are able to breathe in fresh air, we are getting good quality food, we are getting good quality water, then we are happy. If we have the faith in the system, if there is no corruption, if we can complain, if our voices are heard, if the governance is in place, we are happy. And of course, material well-being, we need some of the material well-being for us to keep us healthy. So this is the happiness index which have been given by the Happiness Alliance, and on the basis of this, the happiness index across the countries is calculated. Now look at this report. you know this is very surprising report, because the survey was conducted at the time of the pandemic, at the time of the lockdowns. And it was in this report, actually the average was taken for the 3 years 18, 19, 20, and specifically for 2020 it was done, so as to know specifically that what is the state of happiness at the time of the COVID period. So, according this is the ninth World Happiness Report. Huge disruptions occurred in the daily lives of the people during the pandemic. There were illnesses, many people lost their lives, many people lost their loved ones, but amidst global hardship, the life satisfaction across 95 countries it remains steady as it was before. And India, if you see, it ranked at 139 out of 141 countries. So not a happy thing to be. If you have a time and if you go through the human development report and happiness report, you will be having some surprising findings, because you will see that the countries which are having a high rank in human development are having a very low rank in the happiness report. So this is something which is um, contrary to what is our popular belief. We believe that if we are able, if we are at a better at human development, we should be happy, but it is not so. So this time the report has advocated on the use of well-being of future generation, because quality of life adjusted years we generally calculate, because it states that it lays emphasis on the fact that well-being of the people must be taken into account when we see the happiness of the people. So there are few findings again, that Finland is the happiest country. People are happy there. That means all the physiological health, time, whatever the criteria which we just now, that means it is able to fulfill. It is having all that. Uh, India was 144 in 2020, but now it is 139. And there are two things which have been stressed out here: living long and living well, both the concepts, and it is known now widely in the form of well-being approach. So, to evaluate social progress and to make effective policy, the quality of life and length of life both are equally important. So, initially, we focused when we talked about the quality of life and the length of their life, it was only about the patient's health, like that it was calculated. Quality of life adjusted years, that was, you must be knowing about that. But according to this report now, most important is well-being approach. It's a new concept. Now I would like to bring you back at the sustainable development, human well-being, because all our studies and all our focus has been the sustainability and sustainable development along with human development as we see today. You must be knowing about SDGs, and what is the main punchline of SDGs, that no one should be left behind. Okay, so in a way, it talks about the human beings also, human beings only, I should say, and it seeks to provide all that which is essential for human living to everyone, है ना? Leaving behind anyone for any category. So, although it is believed that most of the SDGs, for example, uh, zero poverty, zero hunger, no poverty, health and well-being, education, and they are positively correlated with well-being, because if you are able to satisfy the hunger, then well-being is improved. If you are able to give education opportunities, good and decent standard of life, water, sanitation. However, there is a contradiction in that sense that while the fulfillment of SDGs of some, it may interfere with the well-being of the people. Now, you think in this way that we SDG 2 is about food, right? Zero hunger. Everybody should get food to eat. Now, in that process, the agriculture is um, given more emphasis. For that, the forests are cleared. So climate change may aggregate. So likewise, sustainable development goal like responsible consumption, goal 13 like climate action, they may in the short term provoke tension, and they may interfere with the well-being of the people in the long run. So therefore, we must make our efforts in such a way that we are able to devise a path where even in the fulfillment of SDGs, we must see that how we are able to proceed with them, because there are certain SDGs which are positively associated health, well-being, and food and all that. So we must make our efforts towards fulfilling of those SDGs. So in the context of sustainability, therefore I would like to bring you again here is that when we say human resources, why do we how do we integrate sustainability in it? So it it establishes a momentum. What does it mean that it establishes momentum in that way? That you must have heard about the sustainability initiatives which are being taken in the organizations and all. It creates a kind of a pace, it creates a kind of a culture, it creates a kind of a trend in the long run, so that whatever the actions we are taking today, they automatically integrate sustainability initiatives in it. Okay, in the context of business also, if we see, it gives you a competitive advantage, because in the present era, every time we are discussing about how to make uh, things efficient, how to go for eco-friendly products, how to go for sustainability in our actions. So when you say human resources, it also gives you an upper hand, because if you talk about the organizations, if you talk about the industries, it is always believed that when you have these kind of things, it gives you an advantage over others. Also, it has been seen in by various examples. If you compare the countries also, and within a country also, if you compare, you will see that it infuses a kind of a positive environment and it is ethical. Again, as I said earlier also, governance aspect is very important in human resource development, because all the indexes which we are referring to, all the policies, all the measures, all the changes which we are expecting, it is not, it is initiative of the governance only. So environmental governance has a huge role in human resource development, because for example RTI, for example America, these, they are a kind of a you can say tools, they are a kind of a methods or means, you can say, by which the people are having more say, they know, have more information, they are able to participate effectively towards their community activities, towards the nation building, and so on. So in a way, it also generates a transparency in the systems, it helps to you to participate in decision making. And when you look back, where while we were discussing about the human development and human happiness, we will find that all this is very essential for the cause of human development, because unless and until equal contribution from all the members of the society is not there, we cannot say that it is human development. So it is not just giving them the necessities of life, or to provide them or to improve them economically, but it is also very important at this juncture today to see that they are physically as well as mentally participating in all the activities, in all the uh, policies and planning and strategies of the country, wherever it is possible, wherever the decisions are related to them. So as a stakeholder, as a human resource, the stakeholders are at various levels, from professionals, um, are also there, decision makers are also there, authorities are also there, and the lower level working class is also there. At every layer, it is important to see that they are given full freedom, participation, and choices, so they are effectively contributing to it. And then only we can assume that it is the human development or human resource development. So I'll just end my presentation here. We can discuss if it is required. I would like to hear from you.